Hey guys, it's Dan with Philosophical Fishing, and I hope y'all are doing well. And thank you guys for all the support on this channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all your comments. And like I always say, as long as these videos are helpful to people, then I'm going to keep making them. It seems like they are helping people, so I'm very pleased about that, and I'm really happy about that. So I hope y'all are doing well. I just kind of wanted to take a minute and kind of pause and reflect on the past 7 years. And kind of where I came from and where I'm at now. Because this past September, on the 28th, I just celebrated 7 years being benzo free. And for me, that's a huge accomplishment, you know, because I was on benzos of one form or another for 13 years. And hey, at one time, I just could not imagine myself ever being benzo free. And it just seemed unreal to me that I could ever actually go through a day without using benzos, or especially something stressful or something that caused me anxiety. And so to actually have been off benzos for 7 years and to done some of the things that I've done and, you know, just go through life without having to depend on a pill to get me through has been a huge blessing in my life. And also, I'm recording this from my truck. Obviously, I would rather do it inside of my house, but I have a 3-year-old who likes to run around and be all up in my biz, so it's kind of hard to do these videos from inside, but whatever. I mean, here we are. As long as what I'm saying is relevant and helpful to somebody, then that's all that matters, right? And it's kind of rainy, so I hope the rain hitting the top of the truck isn't making too loud of a noise and making the sound weird, but it is what it is. So I wanted to share a picture with you guys, and for those of you who are following me on Instagram, you may have seen this picture. This right here is me the last, probably, it's hard to say just because my memory from this particular time era is not exactly clear, but this picture is probably from a few months before I came off of Klonopin. For those of you who also don't know, you can go back and watch my last video on my drug dealing psychiatrist, and I think in that video I do describe some of the drugs I was on and the dosage that I was on. And so at my very last probably 9 months to a year, I was taking 5 milligrams of Klonopin daily and then some. So I was prescribed 5 milligrams per day from my psychiatrist, which is a high dose of Klonopin. And then I was also, you know, days that I felt extra stressed or anxious, I would take more. So I might take 6 or 7 milligrams of Klonopin a day, which is just, it's an outrageous amount of benzo to have in your system for anybody. And I won't go too much into the rest of it here because I've already described this in other videos, but I was also taking a high dosage of Suboxone, which is a drug for opiate addicts, and I was on also 4 or 5 other drugs as well, and drinking alcohol. So this picture pretty much sums up exactly how I felt. Dead. My eyes were dead. I weighed probably 25 pounds less than I do right now. All I was doing was I was I was working a menial job, taking care of puppies, and I was doing a terrible job at that. I was having these things called ocular migraines, which if you're not familiar with, is a really, really strange, scary sensation where your vision kind of starts to go in and out, and it's hard to describe because I don't really remember it that well. You know, it was a while ago now, and I was so medicated during that time that I can't really remember exactly how I felt. But basically, I kind of remember, like, I would see these kind of like light halos around lights. So I remember I was outside at night and there was a street light, and I was looking at the street light, and it started to get these weird like halos around it, and the halos seemed like they were kind of like almost like pulsating, and I got really dizzy and very anxious, and I went to a doctor, and he said, "Oh, those are ocular migraines." So what did he do? He gave me some Valium for that. And so, of course, then I was taking Valium on top of everything else. So the last, like, 2 or 3 months that I was on benzos, it was just an absolute nightmare. But, yeah, you can see in the picture, I'm just absolutely dead, like zombie-like, miserable. I was contemplating suicide on a daily basis. And I was sick. I was so sick. I was getting these like weird sores on my body, and I'm not sure where those came from. I think just from all the stress and anxiety and wanting to die, basically. You're initially prescribed these drugs to try to help you with anxiety. You know, when in the end, it just completely boomerangs on you, you know. You get to this place where now you're starting to experience all this anxiety again, and you're taking this drug, and the only thing that you can do to try to combat it is up the dosage of the drug, because it's not sustainable over time. At least it wasn't for me and many, many other people that I've talked to. I don't know too many people at all, although I've heard of some here and there who seem to stabilize on a single dose of benzodiazepine and stay on it for a very long time. But I think that's much more the exception than the rule. I know for me, I had to keep upping the dose because I would get to a certain dose and that dose would stop working for me. The anxiety would come back, and then I would have to keep upping my dose. That's how I ended up on 5+ milligrams of Klonopin per day. Towards the end, I'm taking a lot of Suboxone. I'm taking all this Klonopin. I'm on antidepressants. I'm on all these other drugs. And I had a 3-year-old daughter at home who I just absolutely adored, and was just this beautiful, gorgeous little girl. And I couldn't keep it together, you know. I was absolutely coming apart at the seams. Thank God I was able to come off of all these drugs. And I also talk about this in another video if you want to go back and watch my benzo-induced psychosis video. I talk about the experience that I had coming off of Klonopin. You know, here's another picture of us together in, I believe this was a trip we took to Nashville in 2013, probably 2012, somewhere around there. And you know, I was just so devastatedly down with depression and anxiety in this picture. You know, I wanted to be a good father for her. I've always wanted to be a good dad. And you know, and now I had this beautiful little girl, and mentally I was coming apart. And I didn't know what to do. You know, it's so hard being stuck in the benzo prison. That's why it's so important, I think, to get the message out there that we need to be extremely careful with these drugs, because they're just devastating people's lives. They're absolutely ripping people's lives apart. They're ripping families apart. And I know how that is. I've experienced it, ripping my family apart, and the things that I was going through, and my wife just completely baffled by the state and condition that I was in. Every year around this time, I get a chance to reflect back on how far I've come, and kind of the journey I've had since coming off of benzos. And I'm so grateful today, and I have so much gratitude that I can go through the day and not resort to a benzodiazepine or any other drug or alcohol or anything. And I've got tools that I can use to get through anything in life. I don't have to ever go through life alone. I don't have to go back into the benzo prison, for sure. And I don't have to do anything crazy or destructive today. But this this process of healing from benzos, it hasn't been easy, for sure. I mean, obviously, anybody who's going through it, tapering or having just come off benzos, or going through the process of post-benzo healing, knows that it's not an easy road, for sure. There's just no two ways about it. Everybody's experience is a little bit different, but I know just from my own experience that it was very challenging trying to get through life, coming out of that fog, you know. because I was on such a high dosage of benzos for so long that now going through life without anything in my system was like a whole new drug unto itself in a way, because I wasn't used to doing anything normal in my life without being under the influence of a benzodiazepine or some other drug. So, just doing something simple like going for a job interview. Well, how do I go for a job interview without taking a benzo? Because that makes me anxious. Or going to a family function like at Christmas or Thanksgiving. Like, how do I go through that without taking a benzodiazepine? Just simple, normal things that people do in their lives. I wasn't used to because I had been in that fog for such a long time. And so that's why I think it's good for me to look back at these pictures of me from that time and just to kind of reflect on it and to see, that was me. That's where I was. I've been through it. Like, I know how bad it can suck being on a high dosage of benzos and coming off of benzos and trying to find any semblance of normalcy in one's life. I guess the whole point of me sharing this with you guys is to have kind of a commemoration of where I was at, and a celebration of a new life, benzo free, and to also show you that, as bad as you feel and as hard as it is for the things that you're going through right now, you can heal from this. You can get through, you can get back to the other side, and you can come out better than you were, because all the challenges and all the pain that you're going through coming off of benzos, that can all be turned into strength, and all the pain can be a great teacher in your life. One thing that I like to ask myself when I'm going through something that is troublesome or a struggle is, what is this trying to teach me? Not why am I going through this, or how, why is this happening to me, or blah, blah, blah. But I like to ask myself, what is this trying to teach me, and what can I learn from this? Because if there's anything that's troubling me or distressing, then I can learn something from it. Something good can come from that. And that's what I keep holding on to. And that's what I held on to this whole time, coming off of benzos, and those first few months especially, just holding on to something good is coming out of this. Something good is going to come out of this. This is my brain and my body healing and repairing. And it was really a big mental game. And it really is. It's a huge mental game. And sometimes, your body is just going to hurt, and your anxiety is going to be through the roof, and your nervous system is going to be completely shot. And there's just not a damn thing you can do about it, except just ride it out, man. Just ride it out. Keep trucking, baby. Because you got to get to the other side. And you will. You'll have these peaks and valleys and windows. And it's going to be this journey, And everybody's journey is a little bit different. Some are long, some are short. I'm still on it. I'm still not completely 100% healed. I still deal with benzo belly, a dysregulated nervous system. I still get disassociation sometimes. And it just happens, and there's nothing I can really do about it when I'm in it, when I'm in the acute phase of it. But still, I have to come back to a place of acceptance, of compassion for myself. And gratitude is always a huge one. And gratitude was huge when I was coming off of benzos, man. So don't wait until you start feeling better to start practicing gratitude. Start practicing gratitude right now while you feel like shit. That's what I did. I would be in some big wave and something, and my nervous system was just completely off, and I just felt like complete garbage. And still, I would try to find something that I was grateful for, whether it was just that, thank God at least I'm off benzos, or thank God my legs work and I can go out and take a walk, or whatever it is. All of us have something we can be grateful for. Even if all it is you woke up today and you got yourself dressed and you have food to eat. That's enough to be grateful for. I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I hope I've said something on this video that helps you. And I really wanted to come on and show you what I looked like 7 years ago before I came off of benzos, and give you some hope and let you guys know that there is hope and there's healing. Just keep going, man. Again, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for all your comments. I really appreciate it. It gives me more motivation to keep making these videos, and so I'm going to keep going with them. I wish you guys lots of love and healing.